You think you are falling behind. Everyone else seems to have it figured out. Their lives look perfect. Their progress looks effortless. And you feel stuck, lost, like you are walking in circles while everyone else is running toward the finish line. But here is what your mind will not tell you. You are not behind. You are not lost. And the path you are on right now, the one that feels so uncertain, so uncomfortable, so wrong, might actually be exactly where you need to be. Stay with me, because what I am about to share will change the way you see your own progress. By the end of this video, you will understand the 10 psychological signs that prove you are on the right path, even when your mind is screaming that you are not. Let me tell you about a man named David. When he was 28, he made a decision that everyone around him thought was insane. He left a 6-figure job in finance to become a teacher. His parents were horrified. His friends called him crazy. His colleagues said he was throwing his life away, and for the first 2 years, it felt like they were right. He went from earning 6 figures to barely making ends meet. He went from respected professional to struggling beginner. He watched his old coworkers buy houses while he was sharing an apartment. He saw them take vacations while he was grading papers at midnight. Every day he questioned himself. Did I make the biggest mistake of my life? Should I go back? Was this entire thing just a fantasy? But something inside him would not let him quit. Not confidence, not certainty, just a quiet feeling that he could not explain. A whisper that said, keep going. 5 years later, David is now a school principal. He mentors hundreds of students. He has built programs that change lives. And when you ask him about those first 2 years, he says something that most people never realize. He says, I did not know I was on the right path when I was walking it. I only knew when I looked back. And that is the problem. The right path rarely feels right while you are on it. It feels confusing, lonely, terrifying. It feels like you are doing everything wrong. But those feelings are not proof that you are lost. They are proof that you are growing. So how do you know if you are actually moving forward, even when it does not feel like it? Here are 10 signs, and if even 3 of these apply to you, trust me, you are closer than you think. Sign number 1, you feel uncomfortable but not unhappy. There's a massive difference. Unhappiness drains you. It makes you dread waking up. It makes everything feel heavy and meaningless. But discomfort stretches you. It challenges you. It makes you nervous. Yes, but also a little bit alive. Psychologists call this optimal anxiety. It is the sweet spot between boredom and panic. When you are on the right path, you will often feel out of your comfort zone. But underneath that fear, there is purpose. But underneath that fear, there is purpose. There is meaning. There is a quiet sense that what you are doing matters. David felt this every single day. He was terrified walking into that classroom for the first time. He had no idea what he was doing, but he was not miserable. He was building something, and that made all the difference. If you feel stretched right now, that is not a warning sign. That is a growth sign. Sign number 2, the people around you do not understand what you are doing, and that is completely okay. Most people operate from their own fears, their own limitations, their own comfort zones. So when you step outside of that, they will not get it. They will question you. They will warn you. They will try to pull you back. But here is what neuroscience teaches us. The human brain is wired to avoid uncertainty. It craves predictability, safety, routine. So when someone close to you sees you taking a risk, their brain interprets that as danger. Not for them, for you. And they project that fear onto you as concern. David experienced this constantly. His parents thought he was wasting his potential. His friends thought he was going through a crisis. But none of them could see what he saw. None of them felt what he felt. And that is the point. The right path is often a lonely one. Not because you are doing it alone, but because you are the only one who truly understands why you are on it. If people around you are confused by your choices, that is not a red flag. That is evidence that you are walking a path most people are too afraid to walk. Sign number 3, you are learning faster than you are earning. Right now, you might not have the money, the status, the visible results, but you are gaining something far more valuable: experience, skills, resilience, the kind of education that no degree or paycheck can provide. Research shows that real mastery takes time. Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000-hour rule. Anders Ericsson talks about deliberate practice. But here is what they both agree on. The early stages are always the hardest because you are building the foundation, and foundations are invisible. David spent his first 2 years just learning how to manage a classroom, how to connect with students, how to handle difficult parents, how to stay calm under pressure. He was not making much money, but he was becoming someone capable of handling what was coming next. And when the opportunity for leadership arrived, he was ready. If you are in a season where you are learning more than you are earning, do not panic. You are not wasting time. You are investing in yourself, and that investment will pay off. Sign number 4, you have outgrown old friendships but have not found new ones yet. This This one stings, but it is real. Growth is not always addition. Sometimes it is subtraction. When you start changing, some people will not come with you, not because they are bad, but because they are comfortable where they are, and your evolution makes them uncomfortable. Social psychologist Dr. Robin Dunbar found that humans can only maintain about 5 close friendships at a time, and those friendships are based on shared values, shared experiences, shared goals. When you shift, those alignments change, and some people naturally fall away. David noticed this too. The friends he used to meet every weekend slowly stopped calling. The group chats went quiet. He was not invited to the same gatherings anymore. At first, he thought he did something wrong, but then he realized he had just changed, and that was okay. If you feel like you are in between social circles right now, that is not loneliness. That is transition. The new people are coming, but first you have to release the old connections that no longer fit. Sign number 5. You are saying no more than you are saying yes. This is a massive indicator. When you are on the right path, your priorities become crystal clear. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop people pleasing. You stop scattering your energy in 1,000 directions. Psychologists call this decisional fatigue. Every time you say yes to something that does not align with your goals, you drain mental energy. But when you get clear on what matters, saying no becomes easy. It is not rude. It is not selfish. It is self-respect. David used to say yes to every social event, every favor, every distraction. But once he committed to teaching, he had to get selective. He started declining invitations. He stopped attending events that drained him, and people did not like it. They called him boring, distant, too serious. But he was not being antisocial. He was being intentional. If you are saying no more, often that is not you becoming cold. That is you becoming clear. Sign number 6. You are failing, but you are not quitting. Failure is not the opposite of success. Quitting is. The right path will test you. It will knock you down repeatedly. It will make you doubt everything. But if you keep showing up, you are winning, even when it does not look like it. Carol Dweck, the psychologist behind growth mindset theory, found that people who succeed long-term do not avoid failure. They reframe it. They see failure as feedback, as data, as proof that they are trying something worth doing. David failed constantly in his first year. Lessons that bombed, students who did not respect him, parents who complained, but every failure taught him something, and every lesson made him better. The difference between him and everyone else who quit: he did not see failure as a sign to stop. He saw it as a sign to adjust. If you are still here, still trying, still moving forward, you are already ahead of most people. Do not measure progress by how many times you fall. Measure it by how many times you stand back up. Sign number 7. You feel behind, but you have stopped obsessing over it. Early on, comparison kills you. Every win someone else gets feels like your loss. But over time, something shifts. You start realizing that their timeline has nothing to do with yours. Their chapter 10 is not your chapter 3. Social comparison theory, developed by psychologist Leon Festinger, explains this. Humans naturally compare themselves to others to evaluate their own progress. But when you mature emotionally, you stop comparing sideways. You start comparing vertically. You measure yourself against who you were yesterday, not against who someone else is today. David used to scroll through social media and feel terrible. His old colleagues were posting about promotions, new cars, luxury vacations. Meanwhile, he was struggling to afford groceries. But eventually, he stopped looking, not because he did not care, but because he realized their path had nothing to do with his. And once he stopped comparing, he started progressing faster. If you have reached the point where you are aware of others but not consumed by them, that is emotional maturity. That is a major sign you are locking in. Sign number 8. You are being tested in ways you have never been tested before. Growth does not come from comfort. It comes from pressure. The right path will push you to your limits. It will expose your weaknesses. It will force you to confront the parts of yourself you have been avoiding. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who studied flow states, found that real growth happens when challenge slightly exceeds skill. Not too much, or you panic. Not too little, or you get bored. But just enough to stretch you. David had to face his fear of public speaking, his lack of patience, his perfectionism, his need for approval. Teaching did not just test his knowledge, it tested his character. And every test made him stronger. If life feels harder than it used to, that is not punishment. That is preparation. You are being shaped for something bigger. Sign number 9. You trust yourself more than other people's opinions. This is the shift that changes everything. When you are on the wrong path, you need constant validation. You need reassurance, permission, approval. But when you are on the right path, you start listening to your own instincts. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio discovered that gut feelings are actually your brain processing past experiences faster than your conscious mind can. That inner voice, it is not random. It is wisdom. David stopped asking for advice after his first year. Not because he became arrogant, but because he realized most people were giving him advice based on their fears, not his potential. He started trusting himself, and that changed everything. If you care less about what people think and more about what you know, that is power. And sign number 10, you have a deep, unexplainable sense that you are supposed to be doing this, even when it is hard, even when it makes no logical sense, even when no one else understands. There is something inside you that refuses to let you quit. A pull, a knowing, a quiet certainty. Psychologist Carl Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, not who others expect you to be, who you are meant to be. David felt this from day one. He could not explain it to his parents. He could not prove it on a spreadsheet, but he knew, and that knowing carried him through every doubt. If you have that feeling, do not ignore it. That is not naivety, that is alignment. So here is the truth. The right path does not feel right most of the time. It feels uncertain, uncomfortable, lonely, but those feelings are not proof you are lost. They are proof you are awake. You are choosing growth over comfort, purpose over popularity, alignment over approval. Most people never walk the right path because it requires them to trust themselves when no one else does. But you are not most people. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting for it to feel easy. The right path rarely feels easy, but it always feels true, and if you are on it, even if you do not realize it yet, keep going. You are closer than you think. If this resonated, drop a comment with one word that describes where you are right now. Growing, struggling, trusting, doubting, whatever it is, say it. You are not alone. Subscribe to Mental Compass. Let your mind find its direction.